Ooh, boy, that's some hot tones right there, folks. Hey, guys, I'm Doctor McFarland, and it is Tuesday. Sorry, I'm running a little late. I was doing some work at work, and then went to Publix to go look at something, and I didn't end up buying it and just wasting more time. So, I am here. Thankfully, traffic coming home was not bad, and it's only 4:24, so no problem, right? All right, so we're going to go a little bit longer today, sometime after 5 to make up for the extra time. But y'all come on in. I want to hear your questions about recording gear, about any kind of music gear, whether that's pianos, guitars, amplifiers, pedals, digital modeling units. What else could we talk about? I got a nice pair of scissors right here. If you need some scissors, I don't know, whatever. Actually, I always have a paintbrush in the studio because you just never know when you need to, like, brush off something and clear the dust off, make it all nice and pretty again. And I probably could get like a small vacuum of some sort and like suck everything up. But for the most part, I'll just take a paintbrush, sweep everything off. Make everything nice and clean and presentable for the guitars over here, because the guitars need a nice clean studio to live in. They're very particular about their living environment, by the way. All right, this is a Kiesel Delos. Had it for a few months now. Joel Chappelle. Just got my hands on Mixbus 10. Any tips to get it set up? Well, let's go ahead and look at it. Joel, let's pull up a Mixbus 10 session here. And when you first download it, there's two windows you need to get by to, essentially tell Mixbus, hey, where do I want to save all my sessions? And you just click through the forward and go through all that, and you're done. Let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, guys, so this is Mixbus 10. I do work for Harrison Audio, and bam. All right, so what we have here is the session setup window. It might be a little small right this second. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Something like that. Okay, cool. All right, so session setup window. I have applied my license, so Mixbus Pro license, and this is all my previous sessions I've had open before. They're all set to 48K. I am using a Orion Studio from Antelope Audio as my interface. This actually gives me 32 total inputs, anything from analog to USB returns to whatever I want, so it's very cool. But regardless of what interface you have, you just, go with what you have. We can either make a new session or we can open an existing session. And if you've added any plugins into your session, you can open those and you can open the session in safe mode by clicking on this box, which I don't really need to do. And we'll just make a new session. How about that? So the default time is going to be beat time. We also have audio time, but for the most part, we have it in beat time, which just means all your markers and all your grid and all that stuff is going to be set to audio, beat time instead of audio. I'm going to create it in my music folder, which is fine. And for now, we can actually leave it untitled, and it'll just be the default name for our session. We do have some templates up here we can choose from. I'm just going to... Sorry, I got something in my throat. I'm going to keep it empty template and press open. Now you can see this is the audio MIDI setup, and I'm on a Mac. So my input device is going to be, just make it Orion Studio for now. And I got sample rate 48K, buffer size 1024. I am going to use my hardware as my monitoring. So I'm monitoring through, this is what I'm monitoring through. I monitor through the Orion Studio DSP software stuff. Because it has its own mixer. It has its own reverb built in, so I can give the singer and the booth some reverb or whatever I want to do there. So that's how you do that. And then from there, you just start, as long as everything is, set how you want. So we're going to start it up here. And we're going to have to make this smaller on my screen. Make it a little smaller like that. Okay. That way you can still see me off to the side and you can see Mixbus. Alright, so now what we're doing, we have a blank session. And I can go up to the right hand corner here and we got record. Where you can actually see all my inputs coming in. I got guitar coming in on 17 and 18. I got vocals coming in on 19 over here. And yeah, because I'm actually plugged in right now into some Harrison audio. You can't see this, but let me do this. Oh no, what am I doing? What am I doing? Bam, that's horrible. All right, so here's some Harrison audio 500 series modules in a Lindell audio power supply. There's the paintbrush that you saw earlier. So yeah, I'm using those as some extra mic pre's. Hello, I look horrible. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so put that back. We don't need you right now. All right, so you can see all your inputs on the record page. Very fun. Makes it easy to get levels because you can see everything going up and down. And as you can see on my Orion Studio, in my routing chain, I have my ADAT. I have the 500 series plugged into my ADAT device. So those channels are 7 and 8 of the ADAT inputs. And I've drugged those down to the comp record, which is actually 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So that's why you see my input coming on channel 19, because that's the actual input I've chosen on my interface for that signal to come in at. So, and then my guitar is coming in on 17 and 18, which is the Fender Tonemasters Pro. And that's all that works. I do have a cue page where I can drag and drop drum loops. So I can go here to maybe like rock number 2. And we'll put in a groove. I don't know what this is going to sound like. Let's do this. Okay, so I can drag that in. Now I play a loop and it just loops on forever. So I can play a little bit. Richard Kaplan's in the house. What's up, Richard? Anyway, so that's a great songwriting tool to play along with some drums instead of like a metronome. You got an actual groove to play along with. We have the edit window, which there's my drum track I just added in there. There's some MIDI stuff. Over in the top right corner here, let's see if I can do this. It's not going to let me zoom, is it? I can do that one. Oh, no, I can't do that one. Never mind. That's zooming my whole screen. I have to figure out how to do that. I'll figure it out sometime. Maybe this is like a right click. There's something on a Mac where you can like make a magnifying glass window and do something cool. But anyway, on this top corner here, this is where I can set my input for my track. So if I make an audio input just by double clicking in this area, it brings up my add track bus VCA. And I'm going to name this guitar. And it's going to be a mono. Actually, it's going to be a stereo track. Stereo's good. And then up here, I can make it 17 and 18. Arm it. And now you can see I got signal coming in and out. All right, Joel. So in just a matter of minutes, I've opened up a new session. I've created some tracks. I've armed a track. And now what I can do, since I've added this this drum track to the slot A over here, what I'm going to do is add a cue marker, QA. Okay, we don't have to name it. So it's on, I can move this to anywhere I want, but let's just make it on bar 9. So now I can just press play. Actually, I'm going to press record by doing shift space bar. Or you can come up here to arm the master record arm, then just press play. All right, so here's my drums going. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play that one more time. Okay, that's not exactly what I wanted to do, but it's fine. So now I can go here and I can trim the front by hitting J, trim the back. Let's go back and listen to this. Okay, we'll stop it right here on bar 21. And now I can actually, let's move this down. And I can just duplicate this out by doing Command M. Or Command D, sorry. So now I have a nice little backing track to play along with. Let's go adjust my my levels here. Guitar, you can add drums, you can add a bass, you can add whatever else. Let's go and add one more track. We'll call this a vocal track. I don't have headphones on right now, but it'll be fine just for demonstration purposes. I've actually made that a stereo track. I shouldn't have. Let's do this one more time. Let's make it mono Vox. Okay. Unarm that. I'm actually going to delete this one. I don't want it. So Vox input is going to be 19. There's my signal path. Da 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 da. And then you're going to hear me sing really horribly. So here we go. Whoa. all very loud because I'm just too loud right now. Let's turn this down. Hey, 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 hey. Let's turn this down, turn it down, turn it down. Check, check. All right, let's do it one more time. That was pretty good singing there, Nate Dogg. Here we go. I was actually listening to U2's Songs of Surrender, where they've gone through all their catalog and like made acoustic versions and different versions of all their like most popular songs. It's very cool. But anyway, now I got MIDI drums that isn't actually on the timeline, but it's being triggered from the cue page. Then I got a guitar I played. I got a vocal I laid down very horribly. Arturia keyboard right here. So let me now add another MIDI track because we can. And yeah, we'll make it that. Let's see what I'm doing here. I have a MIDI track. I'm going to go to channel selector. And I'm just going to have this be channel 1. Inbound, channel 1. Okay, cool. So now let me play some piano here. I'm not even recording on there. Here we go. I don't want to hear my vocal anyway. It was pretty bad. Pretty bad vocal if you ask me. Here we go. My vocal's too low to hear me now. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay. You should be able to hear me now. Something like that. Sorry about that. Turn off the compressor a little bit. Turn that up. All right. My TV is blinking. All right, so now you can hear, make sure I'm not too loud. Now you can hear some MIDI. Okay, let's say I like that performance, but it needs some tender love and care from some quantizing. So I'm going to choose that track. Hit Control 5 to quantize. I'm going to force this to be 16 notes. And let's just quantize it. So it kind of slides everything over. Yeah, I'm making the most horrible song ever right now. But yeah, that's how you do Mixbus. And then you just go on and you can do whatever you want. You can come in. Maybe we want to split a track by hitting, hitting S. We want to move it over. If you record multiple layers of things, you can see those like this. And then we can go to layers and stacked. So now you see multiple layers that you can now move around. And you can edit those. Yada yada, just whatever. So it's all fairly straightforward, pretty easy. Then the last thing is the actual mixer that you see here. And we have all my tracks. I can show my sends. I can show my EQ, my compressor, gate, prox, which is the processor box, and then my inputs on top. And so I'm going to send these over to, maybe I want to do like Mixbus 1. My guitar is going to be on Mixbus 2. My vocals on 3. Then my MIDI is on 4. So now when I play this, you can see I've sent audio from my main tracks over to the buses. And we can turn up some drive here on those buses, like really drive it. We can turn up the drive on the master bus. I do have a trim knob here so I can bring up the volume, so I can hit my K14 meter more around that 0 mark. Anyway, there you go. That is Harrison Mixbus in all its glory. Really, I use maybe 2 handfuls of keyboard shortcuts when I run a session. Not very many at all. And I rarely use plugins. But if you must use a plugin, you can just right-click in this black area, go to New Plugin, or you can double-click and bring up the plugin selector. And you can actually search for SSL, or maybe you want to search for like your Arturia stuff, which is more of a that's more of a virtual instrument. So Arturia, it's not coming up, but anyway, it's fine. Yeah, just search for whatever plugin you want. You can also add those to your favorites here across the side. So then once you add it to your favorites, you can select your track, and maybe I want to go over here and add a plate reverb. So I can just double click and it adds that plugin to the track, which is very cool. You can also right click and you can choose where within the signal path you want to add it. Either at the top, add pre-fader, add post-fader, or add at the end. And really, that's about it, guys. It's very simple, very straightforward. If you want a compressor, there's a compressor on every channel. You got an EQ on every channel. You can switch your EQ by going from Harrison 32C to SSL 9000J, like so. And it does have an emphasis knob on the compressor, very much like the little turn screw you see on a LA2A. So you can change the character of the compressor, whether it's compressing the low end quicker or the high end quicker, whatever you want to do. We do have the bus ends, as I already showed you. We can do pre-fader or post-fader. So if you want to send a pre-fader send to another bus and then process that bus totally separately from your actual track, you can do that. Or do any kind of reverb sends or whatever you need to do. So yeah, there you go. It has great visibility. Well, that's awesome, because a lot of blind people out there say, I can't see Mixbus. Everything's too small. But, what are you going to do? Some people are blinder than others. What I do is I go up to my preferences and I make sure this is set to under size and scale. I have it set to 140%, which makes everything really big. And I can see it just fine. Either on a 2K screen, I can have it up on my 4K TV screen up here, which is right above my other screen. And I can see everything really big. I can sit over here by my my drum kit, and I can still see everything nice and big on the screen. So it works just fine. I think most people that say it's too small are those who are using Windows, possibly. And there's some weird intricacies with like Windows setup and resolution and all the different things. So, but usually for Mac, it should be pretty straightforward. And you can see everything just fine. So yes, it is analogish and it's easy to see. Contrary to popular opinion, obviously. But yeah, it's just a mixer. Like you would have a real mixer right in front of you. You have your channel strip. You can access all your EQ, compression, bus ends, all the stuff, and all that. So, Joel, I think you're definitely a headrush user because I see you in the headrush forums a lot. But yeah, I'm currently playing through the ToneMaster Pro, which is amazing. I don't have the Flex Prime on right now, but I need to get that hooked up. Actually, do I have anything on? I'm not plugged in down here apparently, or something. Oh, I see what I did. I unplugged my power strip. That's why it's not turning on. But it's fine. Now, the issue I was helping a Mixbus user with at work before I left was he wanted to hear his reverb and EQ and all the stuff as he was recording, and you can do that, but you have to force it to see the input by hitting that N button up there on the input monitoring. If you have it not selected, you're going to be listening to the monitor playback by default. Then I usually monitor through the Orion Studio, so that way I don't have to deal with latency trying to monitor through the software. But if you do decide to monitor through the software, you just hit that N button, and now you can hear yourself do that. So yeah. I have not tried the Nano Cortex yet. I hear it's good. I actually had the Quad Cortex last year, but I sold it because I felt like it was almost too small, and it's like it's trying to take the size of the headrush core and actually fitting 2 rows of foot switches on there, and it just made everything too cramped, and I didn't want to. And plus, I didn't like the power supply. I would prefer if it had IEC cable on there. I've been getting a lot of questions on my fractal videos lately, but I don't have a fractal unit any longer. So I've actually been tempted to buy either an FM3 and then add on one of those quad little foot switch extender things to have more foot switches with it, or just buy an FM9, which I could probably get right now for around $1,400 or so, but I don't really have the money right now to do that. So it would be fun to have another fractal just to make videos with. But honestly, the ToneMaster Pro, between the ToneMaster Pro, the Helix, and the headrush stuff, I mean, I got more than enough to play with and make videos on. And yeah, I just don't need any more gear at this point. Any other questions going on about gear? Let's see. Let's go and do some shopping now, if you want. Let's do some shopping, okay? We're gonna go to Zounds.com, and I saw this at the NAMM show not long ago, and this is called the Valve Train amplification. And this is a Studio 20 modeling guitar speaker. So what it essentially is a power amp. It's a tube power amp with a speaker inside of it. And it looks really cool. And it just has a actually has a dual input on the back. This is not really showing the back anywhere. Show me the back of it. No back anywhere. Okay. Anyway, it has two inputs on the back, for stereo, or for your two inputs from coming out of your mauler. And it might be fun just to try out an FR versus a tube power amp and speaker cab. And then versus going, maybe go effects return through my quilter over here, or go effects return through my Blue Guitar Amp 1, which is definitely an option because it does have a nano tube in there. But I just wonder if the 6v6 power tube is any different than what the quilter or what the Blue Guitar Amp 1 can give me, as far as another option of monitoring my digital units. So it's very interesting, and that might be coming to the channel here soon. I do have a relationship with Zounds.com, so I can review stuff and then just send it back. So if there's anything that you want to see me review, like for instance, another thing I want to really try is the Synergy stuff. So click on Synergy. We have like the Synergy rack. You can get like a 2-channel rack unit, which would be really cool, because I do have a rack down here, so it might be neat to add some analog goodness into my signal path for guitar stuff. And I'm pretty sure this is it's a preamp section. Module 2 preamp. Okay, so going direct, by taking advantage of the Send 2's direct recording and performance capabilities, you'll send the real sound and feel of some of the world's most iconic tube amplifiers right into your track or front of house. The Send 2's direct XLR out boasts a cabinet simulation that is second to none. Okay, that's cool. Offering you a studio grade tone that is effortless to attain as hooking up an XLR cable. Or do you have your own impulse response that you'd rather use? Yes, I do. Simply bypass the cab sim on the back of the unit, and to further dial in your tube amp experience, we worked hand in hand with legendary amp designer Stephen Fryette to outfit the Send 2 with a front-mounted sag control, supplying you with the feel and response that only a great tube amp can give. So I would love to try this out. This would be pretty slick, if you ask me. Not only that it can go into a rack over here that I already have, or you can just add it to whatever you want. There's also some other Synergy things. Crap, if I can spell Synergy. So we have the individual modules, which are fun. We have this thing, which is the Send 1. There's like a tabletop option, which is also very cool. So I don't have to have it in a rack. I can just do a tabletop thing. And on the back of it here, we have XLR out. We have a main out. We have a 2 amp effects return, i.e. going through a quilter or go through my Blue Guitar Amp 1, whatever I want. From amp effects send. Okay, that's cool. Oh, I see, to amp in. And then we actually have a effects send. Level effects return. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, the very, very, very versatile option here. There's a foot switch to go between the different channels. If you have a preamp in there that has different channels, which this one does. This one is the Plexi. There's all kinds of different options in here. So you can see it's just plug and play into whatever you want. And those are $500. So for that one thing is $500. Then a module is another $400. So that's well, let me do this. Yeah, it's $500. So $499 is $500 technically. Then another $400 $399, $400, whatever. So for about $900, you got you a little amplifier that you can just throw in a bag, show up to the gig, and go direct through whatever you want. Now this doesn't have a power amp in it. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have a power amp. So therefore you have to use, what am I looking at here? Come on. All right, there's the back. It doesn't have a speaker output, so therefore it's not meant to be used with a speaker cab. You have to have a power amp to go along with it. So there's that. But they do have actual combo amps or actual heads that you can get. And I'm not seeing the combo amp. Synergy head. Let's see what that does. Huh. Just doing some shopping here, folks. Just checking things out. Yeah, at one point they had the combos and the heads available. I'm not seeing that right now. Let's check some comments. Joel says, I have them all. Headrush is kind of dropping the ball some ways right now. I am digging FM3, Kemper, and QC. Yep. I had the FM3 and I sold it right before gapless switching was added. So if I got anything, it probably would be an FM3 just because it is small. And then I would add on those quad foot switches. FM3s. Let's see. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I can type. So the Quad Plus, you got this kind of stuff on the end here. So for Fractal, FM3, FC6, or FC12, this essentially gives you 4 more switches that you can use for like bank up and down. You can change your views from, you know, your preset view to your scenes view to your stomps view. You can make 2 of them be your tuner and your tap tempo. And you can also make these hold functions as well. So like one could be your tuner tap tempo, and then another one could be your bank up and down, whatever you want. Then the other 2 could be maybe you want to stay in. Well, one could be your views just by holding it down, and then the last one could be like a stomp that you want on and off within a certain preset or a certain scene or whatever you want. So, and for another 138, that's not too bad. Doing that kind of deal. And plus now with the gapless switching of the FM3, you can keep 1 amp channel or 1 amp block, which it already has anyway, and then just change between 4 different amp channels. And that's simply amazing right there. So yeah, I might be very tempted to find a very good deal on an FM3 used one. And you can see the video right here. Here's a video of Leon Todd demonstrating the OCD Quad Plus, which I need to go and rewatch that one. But yeah, so you got the FM3, which you can get used for about $800 to $900. You add another 138, making it, you know, essentially $1,000, either $1,000 or $1,100, depending on what you're doing. But then by that point, you might just buy an FM9. But if you want to keep down on the size and the cost of everything, then maybe the FM3 would be the best way to go. I'm just not sure. Not sure. Yeah, I definitely want to check out the Synergy stuff just because it's fun. But anyway, going back here, I am part of the Zounds affiliate program, which just means when you purchase anything through my links, then I get a commission from that. So if you're going to go buy a guitar for your kids this Christmas, or maybe a new amplifier for yourself, or maybe your wife needs some new picks to use in the kitchen. I don't know why she would need picks in the kitchen, but just anything you're going to buy, click on my link in the description in the description of any of my videos, and then I get a small commission from that. And it just helps me. If you wanna see an FM3 on this channel, then go buy something through Zounds. I get some commission from that, and I can start saving up for an FM3 to start making videos again. Maybe I'll do it that way. I'm not gonna buy anything else. You guys buy all the stuff, and I'll just sit back and wait for the commission to come in, and I'll go buy an FM3 with that money. How about that? That sounds like a plan to me. How about you? Let's see, what else can we look for? Let's look for cheap guitar options. I hear Squier has been doing really well in the guitar department here lately. So if we're looking for, let's go look for price. The lowest price we got. Let's high to low. We went low to high. Okay, so the cheapest one we got is a $199 Sonic Stratocaster Laurel fingerboard. So we got a California blue. We have a purple, which is kind of neat. And we also have a California blue blemished for $169. And looks like a run-of-the-mill Fendery, Squire-y type of guitar. Not too bad. You kind of have to be careful with the fretwork on these lower-end Squires. From my experience, I did work at Guitar Center for a little bit, and just my experience with some of that was, could have been a little bit better. But if you step up into the next realm of Squire, maybe in the like the 300 range, maybe the Affinity series for $249. We got something like this. That's a classic Sunburst, 21 fret, 2-point trim system, which is nice. Should have a pretty smooth trim feel to it. So yeah, for $249, that's a good option for anybody who's wanting to start out, wanting a electric guitar. My first electric guitar was a Squier back in 1997 or something like that, 98. And yeah, it was good. We got the Telecaster option. Let's see here. Make it nice and big. So yeah, if you're in that country twang type stuff, you can check out a Telecaster. But really just click the link down below and just start shopping around. Once you do click the link, it'll hang around in the cookies for about 45 days. So if you go buy something and forget to click on my link, as long as you clicked on it sometime before buying that thing you were going to buy anyway, then I should still get credit for that sale. But this one is cool. I like a Telecaster with a humbucker in the neck. That's always a fun sound to enjoy for sure. Yeah, Joel is saying Sterling My Music Man. Let's go check that out. But anyway, Squier is good. Let's do this. Squier or Sterling My Music Man. So we got some basses. That's an interesting guitar. Let's look for the cheap route from low to high. So Sterling Intro Series. I've never tried these before, but it looks pretty good. I might order one from Zounds and then let you guys know what I think about them. Because this would be a good option. So we got black, we have canvas white, we have electric blue, which is cool, and we have sunset orange. Wow, that's nice. Looks really nice, Joel. You have a nice carved heel right there, so it doesn't dig into your arm, to your hand in the back like a normal guitar would, or like a Fender would. You got a 4x2 headstock. Yeah, I need to get these. I need to get one of these in the studio so I can check it out. So that's the intro series. What was that? All right, hold on. We got, okay, so the bass is $249. That's a really good deal as well. Look at that sucker. We got Misty Green, Electric Blue, Sunset Orange, Sunrise Orange, Black. Okay. So $199, $249. Another step up is the Music Man Cutlass. And the main difference here is maybe a different trim system. Maybe a better trim. I'm not sure. Let's see. Chopper Blue. Or vintage. Ooh, yeah. Vintage Sunburst. Look at that. Look at that. I'm going to put in an order with Zounds here. And I'm going to get some of these in. So I can review them before the holidays. Because they look good. They do look really good. We got more basses. We got the AX3 FM, which is kind of a play on the Van Halen stuff, the Music Man Van Halen stuff. It's kind of cool. Once again, we have the nice rounded heel right there, which is really good. Tyler McMillan, McMillan, what's up? What do you think of the free IDX plugin that Waves gave away for free this Black Friday? Have you tried it? I haven't heard of it, but I can definitely check it out real fast. Waves IDX. Smart Energy Optimizer plugin. Oh, I think I've seen some advertisements for this. They're basically like, man, just add this plugin to your mix and you're like 90 to 95% there. Something, okay. Whatever. The ultimate tool for energy, punch, and focus. Okay. It's kind of like the isotope stuff. Like you put it on your master bus before you start mixing. Then you mix with that in mind, right? You're mixing into the plugin. So all your decisions are based on, okay, if the plugin is scooping out some mids and raising some highs, then you just mix accordingly. And maybe you don't need any EQ at all at first. You just start balancing your faders on the, in your mixer, and by the time you're done balancing and you're panning your tracks, maybe the plugin does a lot for you. I don't know. But it looks like it is a compressor overall. There's a EQ, drum group, acoustic guitars, background vocals. Maybe you just add them to all your buses and your master bus and just let the plugin do its thing. I mean, sure, why not? Sure, why not? Achieve in-your-face presence instantly. Okay, that's great. No more muddy mixes because it essentially does everything for you. Okay. Now, if you're using Mixbus, this is what I do. This is what I do in Mixbus here. I love the spectral compressor in Mixbus. So if I go in here and search for spectral. So here's the MPC spectral compressor. Okay, and what I do is this is not a dynamics plugin, but it is a compressor, but it's a multi-band. It's a multi-band compressor essentially. So when I play some audio, I start bringing this down, and you can see that's going to naturally compress just the areas that it's building up in. So you can make it just do the highs, the mids, the low mids, the lows, you know, whatever you want. Let's bypass it. Bring it back in. Bring the trim up a little bit. Yeah, so it's just, I really don't put a lot of stock in plugins, really. You can chase that rabbit hole all you want, but at some point you have to learn how to record, how to mix, and how to master. It's not a bad skill to have, okay? Always relying on a plugin to do everything for you. Yeah, I mean, for beginners, if you just want to get an instant decent sound without doing a lot of work, I mean, then sure. But at some point your ear has to be tuned to what does sound good and how to achieve that the best way possible. So it's not bad though. I mean, if you want to try it out, then that's great. I didn't see that they were giving it away. Maybe I would have tried it, but for $25, it's not a bad deal. If that's something that you want to do. Back to guitars here. But Tyler, what DAW do you use? Which I guess it doesn't matter whether you're using Pro Tools or Logic or Nuendo, Studio One, Mixbus, FL Studio. I mean, just literally anything that you use, you should be able to mix, master, and release your music just fine without a bunch of gimmicks. Uh-oh. I'm a great teacher and engineer. Sweet. I bought your IR pack from Sonic DNA and they sounded great on every device I use. Awesome. Well, the goal of my IR pack, which is on sale right now for $10, by the way, is you essentially have a 2x12 cab. You got two speakers, right? You got a microphone over here and a microphone over here. Or you could have two microphones on the same speaker. So what you're doing, essentially, let me go back to Mixbus so I can show you some faders. So, and I do have my little pull-out tray right here. You can't really see it, but I have a pull-out tray. Let me see if I can do this. Bam. So here's my, you can't really see that great. This is a, wow, it's unplugged. No, plug it in. Come on. There we are. This is a PreSonus fader port 16. So it's got 16 faders in here. You can see when I move it, it also moves the faders on the screen, which is great. But anyway, what we're doing here is if I have two faders, you know, these are my two microphones on my speaker cab. When they're both at 0, it's like they're at unity gain, right? Let me put these other ones down so you can see it more clearly. So I got two mics at unity gain, both at 100%. On the next file, the right microphone gets taken down by 50%. And now that's going to actually change, that's going to change the sound of your guitar setup, right? So now on the next file, or you could have it all the way down at 0, right? And then you start it back over again at 100%. Then you go back down to 50 on the left microphone, then all the way down to 0, which isolates the right microphone. So you got multiple different options there for, wow, what's going on here? You got multiple different options for greenbacks and vintage 30s. and the blend of those two different mics on either the same speaker or two different speakers. And you just getting little variations of sound and tonality on, like Joel said, either whether you're using a Fractal, a Helix, a ToneMaster Pro. I have them on my ToneMaster Pro right here. So I can show you real fast if I bring this up. Let's go here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so let's just make a new preset, shall we? New preset, hit plus, IR. So here's all my IRs right here. Okay. So I have the A section, which is a greenback. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's actually move this over like that. So I have the greenback with the 57 and a Royer 121. So I have two dynamic mics. So one's pure dynamic and the other is a ribbon. So now you're adjusting the levels of the 57 versus the ribbon on that one greenback speaker. And then you got the off-axis versions, which is G through K. So you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and all those variations just on that one speaker and those two microphones. Then on the B section, you have the Vintage 30 with the same thing. So now you're balancing the 57 and the Royer 121 on a Vintage 30 speaker, which naturally has less mid-range than a greenback does. So it's just going to give you a different sound and all those variations, right? Then you got the C group, which is a greenback, but now with a 421 and a Sennheiser MD 421 microphone instead of a Shure SM57 with all the variations. And then you got the Vintage 30 version of that. And then you got the E section, which is back to greenback. Well, actually, the E section starts at greenback and a Vintage 30 with a 57 on the greenback and a Vintage and a Royer on a 121 on the Vintage 30. And you're balancing all those different levels there. Then the F section has the same greenback and Vintage 30, but now the microphones are swapped. The 121's on the greenback. So this is kind of cool. So the greenback has more mids and kind of a higher mid-range, but the 121 has a smoother top end, so you get naturally less high end. So you have a naturally bright greenback or more mid-rangey greenback with a smoother top end of the 121, which is a really cool combination. But then you have a Vintage 30 speaker, which naturally has a scoop mids on them, right? But now you have the more honky sounding 57 on a not honky sounding Vintage 30. So you're getting contrasting microphones on contrasting speaker types, which is just very cool. Then you have the G section, which is a greenback with 421 and Vintage 30 with the 121. And then your H section has the same microphones, but now they're swapped. So the 121's on the greenback and the 421's on the Vintage 30. I know it's a lot, but just take it section by section and just compare all the little things that's going on here. The I section has 57s on both the greenback and the Vintage 30. What I'm seeing. The J. Wait, where's H? Yeah. I, J has the 421 on both speakers, the greenback and Vintage 30. Very cool. Then the K section has 121s on both greenback and Vintage 30s. So now we have a very dark sounding microphone on both speakers. Then the L section has this is the max. So we have just Vintage 30 and a 121 on the Vintage 30, just set to max. So we just have all the max values through all that. So that's the full rundown of the Doc McFarland IR pack. So if we just go in and choose one of these, let's actually do one of these. Let's do the J section. Let's start from the beginning. Let's do JA, which is 100%, 421 on the greenback and the Vintage 30. And we'll go in and add an amp head, which is going to be, let's do a Friedman, because we're going to rock the cock out here. Okay, let's do effects, reverb, a little bit of Hall reverb, because we can. Bring the mix down, and here we go. I can't play today. I don't know what I'm doing. But what's great about these units is they do have a low cut filter and a high cut filter, so you can take out any more lows that you need to. So I'm going to raise it up to about 120% or 120. We do have impedance curves on here, which is interesting. I don't really know what I want to do. Let's change that. Yeah, that's interesting as well. So on top of the impulse response I've chosen, I can also change the speaker impedance, which is something that Fender is providing to us, on top of the IR you've already chosen. So that's interesting as well. Very, very interesting. So I need some delay in here, folks. Let's delay it up. Yeah, thank you, Joel, for the kind words. I take all the concepts I've learned over the years and just apply it to literally any device I'm using. So whether it's a Tonemaster Pro, a Headrush, a Helix, a Fractal, a Kemper, Quad Cortex, anything else that's out there, it's all the same concepts. You just rinse and repeat for everything that you're doing. Let's do a stereo memory man and bring down the mix a little bit. All right, cool. So here we go. All right, we've been going for a little while here. Let's actually go to my website and let's bring in a backing track that we can play through. I'm going to log in real fast. So this is the back end of my website, podia.com. Click on products. And then we're going to go to backing tracks. So you can buy a year's worth of backing tracks, which is 52, one a week for $20. And get all the fun backing tracks you can stand and play along with. Let's see what I haven't done in a while. Let's do a pop groove in F major. See what happens here. Yeah. right, that's good. So it's a fun backing track. There's all kinds. There's metal. There's like a Floydish groove in here, like a Pink Floyd type thing. Let's go check this out. What we got? What we got? And they're all like 10 minutes long. So if you've got 10 minutes to practice, you can sit down, play along, and just have fun with it. Let's turn up the music here. Slow, so you gotta really force yourself to like dig in to the tempo. Make sure you're playing along, you're not playing too fast, not playing too slow. Just get into the groove of the music here. So tons of backing tracks. If you want to help support the channel, buy this one for a one-time $20 fee. Get a year's worth of backing tracks. And I probably will be doing more next year. I just kind of took a break this year and was like, oh, I got to do some other stuff. But 52 backing tracks once a week. Sit down, practice, play, work on your scales, work on your chords. Just practice. Just play as much as you can. I play for hours on end myself, guys. Sometimes I'm up till like 2 or 3 in the morning playing guitar just because I can't stop. I can't stop playing. It's so fun. So, all right, guys. Thanks for everyone. I am the Doctor of Rock and Soundology, I guess, apparently, according to Joel. So, thank you, Joel, for that. I'm going to go eat some dinner because it's about that time. And how you like my brick wall over here behind me? It's pretty cool, right? Got a little brick. I got the brick wall, man. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing some videos on the couch over here in front of the brick wall, just to give me a little different environment or look, background look for some of my videos coming up here. But yeah, I'm gonna check out some of these Squire guitars. I'm gonna check out the Sterling guitars from Zounds, and then do a nice review and let you guys know what I think about these lower end, cheaper guitars. And you know, if you're looking for a starter guitar for yourself or maybe for your kids, that's a great option to start them off with. And then they can always, when they get their own job and their own money, they can save up and buy whatever they want. But for now, I think any beginner in the $200 to $300 range is going to be perfectly fine for whatever they want to do. So, yeah, I'm going to go eat, and you guys have a great rest of your week. Be safe out there. There's some crazy drivers on the road. Just pay attention to what you're doing and what other people are doing. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay? Keep rocking.